Hey coin collectors, it's DC on the Big D Coin Channel doing a joint video with Big D's Canadian Coin Channel. Some of you might not know about Big D's Canadian coins, and if you want to look at some of the videos from it, because Big D has a bunch of Canadian coin videos on it, just go to the bottom of the homepage for Big D and you'll see a link to Big D's Canadian coins. And this is a great coin to do a joint video with, and of course it is the Loonie from Canada, Canada's $1 coin from 1987, the first year that they made the Loonie. On the front of this coin is a portrait of Queen Elizabeth. You see it says Elizabeth II here, DG Regina, or Queen, by the grace of God, Queen here. This, for those of you who are familiar with United Kingdom coins, you'll be familiar with this portrait, and that's the Arnold Machen's second portrait of Queen Elizabeth when she was 39 years old. She's wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, and you can see the 2 points that come up here to kind of give you the identity of that crown or tiara. If you look around the outside, you'll see that it is a kind of a pearled outside. It goes all the way around. And then if you look right on the edges, you see that these are some kind of rounded edges. This is a Hendecagonal or 11-sided coin. It is a bronze coin, well, bronze covered coin, let's put it that way. And it is nickel underneath. So it's bronze coating on a nickel coin. And what happens is when it starts to wear, you get this kind of dull finish on it. If you can get one of these with a new finish on it, they are very valuable, but they're also very much more beautiful with the shiny kind of look to them. So this was not Canada's first coin. In fact, they actually had another $1 coin in 1987, and I don't have a copy of it, but what I do have a copy of the same coin, and this of course is the Voyageur coin. And those of you who remember Canadian coins remember this back. It says Canada on the top, has the Voyageur in the canoe with the first Canadian. Here, right in the center, says HB for Hudson Bay. And if we look at this coin, we can also see that it is has an engraver mark here. But this is not the engraver. This is the Emmanuel Otto Hahn, who was the designer. Terry Smith was the engraver. And Terry Smith's initials are not on here, but we can find them on some of the other coins that he engraved. This is the 1982 version, but as I said, this coin actually was out in 1987, and it was replaced by the Loonie. And those of you say, well, that's really shiny. That's not not a real coin, I hear sometimes. In Canada, sends out these what they call proof-like sets, and that's what this is. This is from a proof-like set. It's been taken out of the plastic. But back to the Loonie. The Loonie came out in 1987, and when it came out, of course, it replaced, or they were trying to replace the $1 bill. It turns out that in 1987, the Loonie came out, and this was the current dollar, one of the current dollars at the time. This you can see is a 1954 version, but this dollar bill was actually out from 1955 until 1972, and it was still usable when the Loonie came out. It turns out that Canada has finally gotten rid of the $1 bills, and they did that. It wasn't until 2020 that they got rid of the $1 bills in Canada, and they made everybody turn them in. So right now, all of those old $1 bills and some of the other denominations are no longer legal tender in Canada. So that one we have there, because it's a special one, we didn't expect to use it anyway, but we couldn't use it anyway if we wanted to at this point. Now, if you look at this coin, you see on the back, you see the loon. And you also see right under the loon's beak, there's an RRC, and that's for Robert Ralph Carmichael. And Robert Ralph Carmichael was the engraver of the back of the coin, the designer of the back of the coin. Terry Smith actually was the engraver. It says Canada at the top. We see that there's a loon, which is a diving duck-like bird from Canada that makes this really loud wailing cry. 1987 here, dollar here. Again, we have the pearled outer rim, and we see an island in the back. And one of the things I had never noticed until lately was that doesn't the sea look a little bit like a moon hanging out over the island? So if we kind of crossed out this A, you kind of look at that C. So I don't know if that was part of the engraver's or designer's wishes to have kind of this little moon-like over the island with the sea, but it sure looks a little bit like one. All right, so this is the first video. We're going to do a number of joint videos from DC doing the Big D coin, Big D's Canadian coins joint videos, and look for that Big D Canadian channel if you can, and put some likes on the video if you like them there. That's all we have today from Big D and Big D's Canadian.